and welcome to the TMC Newsroom on location here in Miami, Florida at the CTIA 2011 event. On our program today is Eric Moore. He's the Chief Operations and Technology Officer at Axis Teknologies. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you very much for having me, Rich.
So tell me a little bit about your company, please.
The company's Axis Teknologies, been around for roughly 8 years. It's a woman-owned business, and we were ranked number 1,300 or so in the top-growing 5,000 companies in Inc. magazine. And what we do is all wireless engineering services, and we're specifically targeting just wireless. We're not really everything to everybody. And we have like 5 pillars of professional placement, professional services, training. We have some licenses and some applications, and then also end-to-end services, so like a solution-based type of service. And we just purely play in mainly targeting micro networking, not macro, and more into the 4 to 5G with some like SONs and femtocells and things of that nature, smart cities, those types of applications.
So this is a really exciting time for the wireless space in general. Just unbelievable public acceptance, and there's been a lot of just news in general about what's happening in the wireless space. And I'm curious if you can just give me or give the viewers a little more information on smart cities and what you're doing there.
Okay. Well, if you were here at the opening keynote speakers, Dan Hesse was actually talking about M2M and smart cities and how some of these applications are coming, where the future is going. There's going to be, was it 50 billion type of devices on for machine to machine. But really what we're trying to do at Axis is bring cities into the future through wireless technology. And what we want to do is we want to build the delivery system, the infrastructure, so that these applications that are security, parking systems, load sensing devices, which is an M2M, healthcare, healthcare that's there, any other type of applications from Wi-Fi information, disaster recovery, those types of things that cities can use, which makes them more effective and efficient. At the same time, using technology to deliver those services as efficiently and effectively and as robust, keeping it robust and keeping it stable, which is what machine to machine is going to want at the end of the day.
Now, there's a lot of talk about small cells, and I'm curious if you can talk about your strategy there. Now, you refer to it as micro networking, correct?
I refer to it as micro networking, that's correct. Small cells could be anything from like a DAS system, which is probably still going to be predominantly here in the United States. Most of the operators are using a DAS, a distributed antenna system. Now, in Europe, Network Norway just launched a high-density femtocell network. Femtocell would be a small cell, and also picocells. From our perspective, DAS is a extension of the macro network. But what we really want to do is what we think is probably going to be more prevalent is actually targeting specific locations for a micro network where you can offer educational services, offer health care, offer, maybe it's a Wi-Fi for an area, security type services. It's not going to make sense in the future to build these large towers to cover these venues like we are here at CTIA today. Why don't they build a micro network within this facility to cover it rather than building large towers around it and propagating within it? It just doesn't make sense to cover a lot of dirt per se to actually provide a service with the infrastructure for the people that are inside. And how many levels are in this building? 3 or 4 different levels to try to cover them from outside. It's just more targeted is going to be the approach. It's going to be more effective, more efficient, less costly, and you're going to get better service for the customer at the end of the day.
So you're talking about really wasted coverage, which takes place right now. You're not just covering dirt, which there's no one actually on, and maybe nobody driving on, and maybe the random person that happens to be lost in the woods. And on top of that, you're also covering air that no one's using, right? From the tower all the way to the convention center in this case.
Right. Wasted energy. Wasted energy. Go in and target and build the network within the building, and so that you get high penetration, good QoS, good speeds, good latency, and you can offer a specific service to the demographics that happen to be in the building. Today it happens to be high tech, tomorrow it could be home builders, the next day it could be a sports venue, and you can actually separate the services based on the demographics in the facility.
Now, is that something that's synergistic with Wi-Fi Offload, or is it competitive?
It depends. I would say probably in a venue like this, there would have to most likely be several types of options. I mean, I don't know if you've tried to get on the Wi-Fi here today. It's almost impossible to get on because there's so many people.
I would use the word brutal. It works great for short periods of time, and then after a while it just doesn't work.
Well, there's licensed, there's unlicensed, there's white space that we are, that Axis is targeting. In this particular venue, I would expect to have some Wi-Fi for free public use, but also some licensed spectrum in this building so that you can actually have that with an AT&T and some Verizon. And of course the Sprint here is probably what I would have expected, and then you could have gotten on whatever network that you happen to be a carrier on or a customer.
And you see that as the future, right?
You mean micro networking?
Yes.
Yes, I think it's going to be the future.
Are there any other trends that we should be aware of that you're seeing from where you sit as a provider of services to carriers?
Well, I think you're going to see, when Dan Hesse was actually talking today, that we have the data actually surpassed voice. I think it was in 2010. I think we're going to see more data where the applications are growing at 92% year over year. It's an enormous amount of applications that can be run on the wireless network. He also talked about machine-to-machine, which is also going to grow by 2020. And so a trend that I think is going to occur is you're going to see more data applications, of course, but I think you're going to see more machine-to-machine, which is some of what Axis is taking with load sensing device, fast part, stuff that's coming out in seismic areas toward the end of the year. And you're going to see more of that happening. You already see today in some of the cities that are smart cities, security cameras that are wireless. So I think ultimately in the day you're going to start seeing data applications mixed with the machine-to-machine over a course of some time.
So one last question you just sparked in my mind with that last comment is, what makes a city a smart city? In other words, you have cities with video cameras and then you have smart cities with video cameras. Is there a difference?
I think there is a difference. I think they just have only touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the applications that they can apply over the wireless infrastructure. Smart city would be one that uses security services, in my opinion, manage traffic patterns, the traffic lights, so that they can manage this traffic as the volume is building, an accident, whatever is going on. They now have control over from a remote location. Education facilities, being able to put into schools and into campuses, the ability for wirelessly get to the information that they need to. Even in some of the rural areas, the white space is to get, President Obama's broadband plan is to actually give broadband or internet access to every person in the United States. Those types of trends I think that you're going to see in the future. But a smart city is one that actually leverages all the technologies from waste management to traffic to even security. It can be call stations. It can be parking systems. It can be load sensing, so they can manage the actual infrastructure. We know the bridge that collapsed in Minnesota, where if they have facilities that they need to manage, they can manage them 24/7 rather than having one person actually go out and inspect them once a year. I just don't think they've really thought about it. They need someone to help them understand that there's more out there that can be done with just other than just security cameras.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time to be here on the program. It was very educational and informative.